How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode in our survival world. What I've started with over here today, because I want to get this village really up and running. You know, I want to just get things going, get a bit of life in here, and we are starting today on this building over here. Now, I'm undecided on whether it is going to be a small pub or whether it's going to be something else. I want to see how it comes out. I'm really just messing around with this build, just freestyling it. You know, freestyling it. I've got a few different ideas for buildings that I want in here. And I'll just see what comes out, you know, just chill out a little bit today with our building. A lot of people seem to really like this, the underground anvil place, how have I forgot, blacksmith. And I think it was really cool, just a lot of different things you don't see all the time. We've even gone ahead and used granite. You know, that's something you don't see very often, and it's something that I wanted to try out. And we're going to be trying a lot of weird things like this, a lot of different builds, and you know what I really love about it is just walking past it like that. Look at that. You just out the corner of your eye see all that little bit of movement in there. Oh man, it's looking great. Looking really great. A little bit of an update on the mountain. So I've just thought about this and I've been doing these pillars here. You can see we've got those two there, which were actually there a few episodes ago. I've got this one here, which is going to be a slightly larger mountain. And I'm also going to be doing the pillars up here and I'm going to get them all planned out. But the one thing is, with this village is, of course, as I say, many people travel through it. Originally, I was thinking of just a plain valley and then coming out the other side, but what I reckon might be kind of cool is having a tunnel here, because I've got a lot of ideas for this tunnel. I think we can do a lot of really interesting things if we've got a giant tunnel, and it's going to be a huge tunnel. Maybe we can even go make it very large. You never know. You never know. Maybe even a cave. Who knows? By the end of it, this is going to be a place where you can get through from one side and you can get through to the other side. That's the main part. That's all that I'm thinking of right now. Also, by the way, every time I actually walked up to here in night, and it is looking great. It is looking fantastic at night. So I can't wait for us to be able to play around at night here without having mobs everywhere. And another, speaking of mobs, I've got a little bit of an update on our mob farm while I get these pillars up here. And by the way, today, guys, we are doing another build today. We'll probably go back to a few different weirder projects in the next episode, but I'm feeling like this building zone. I'm feeling like getting this place looking a bit better, so I'm definitely going to be building today. So what I was saying about the mob farm is that I've done a few things with it. If you guys don't remember, 2 episodes ago, I think it was, I mentioned that I'm going to be getting a lot more strings so we can get dispensers. I've gone ahead and I've got, I think, halfway done or a third done of those platforms, and we've got to just do the rest of them. It just takes a bit of time. It's a very tedious thing because, of course, we don't have all the platforms open. We don't have a proper platform to spawn mobs in on. So I've got to just take a bit of time and complete that. Now, what I'm thinking here is, because I don't normally do this, I don't normally do the double thing like that. In fact, I've been stepping away from building like in my mind, the technical way of doing houses. You know, like the way you do your general wall with like 2 blocks in front, get that over there. You know, just get a bit of a framing. I'm trying to avoid that as much as I can. Maybe still keep to the general idea, but play around with a few ideas of shape and things like that. And that's really what we've done in the tavern, in the inn. Man, I'm forgetting things. In the inn. And that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm thinking this will be a tavern. I think it'll be a cool little bar or something like that. Okay, man. Okay. Even numbers. You know what? I think this even number could even work in here. I know the actual build's not even, but that could even work here. But as I say, I'm just trying to mess around with shape. And what I'm thinking about this one... Why is that like that? There we go. What I'm thinking about this one is I want to have a second level on here, and I also want to maybe do something a bit more interesting with the roof. Besides that, the overall color is going to be grey, and I know this overall scheme is going to be a very grey village, but I'm liking that. I think it's going to turn out really well. I don't want it to be completely dull, but I also want it to have some eerie vibe to the village, you know, when it's done here. Something that tells you that these people are living in a darker town, a place where there's a lot of tension in the air. I think that's what I'm thinking of. A lot of tension. I should have, yes, not many, but I should have some stone. And by the way, I've had to do a little mining trip, so we've almost got a beacon set up. Very close. I just keep, in fact, I'm pretty sure I've got one. But my problem is I keep taking out iron. For instance, I've got to do all those buckets for the dispensers. So every time I get just enough iron to go, I end up going back to do all the dispensers for our mob farm. And then I've got no more iron left. And then I'll take that out. Then I'll do the next project. Then I've got to do all the cauldrons or something like that. You know, it just takes a bit of time. A bit of time to get all the beacon stuff up and running. But we should almost have a slime chunk ready, which will make everything super good for us whenever we do a lot more redstone builds. We've got a lot more redstone things we want to build. And it's really cool about this series, in fact, that so many people are enjoying just the overall thing of redstone building, trying to hide builds in redstone, which is a bunch of fun. Just odd things like that. The things that you love about Minecraft. You know what I mean? It's just, it's not just building. That's a cool thing. That's really, really the cool thing that I wanted to avoid, because our last series, we did a lot of just plain building, and I love building, but I also want to add in some other things to it. You know, I want to break it up a little bit more, and that's working really, really well, and I'm so glad to see that everyone's enjoying it as well. Oh, almost fell. Almost fell. Okay, cool. So this is just the way I'm doing this wall, because as I say, I want it to be a stony wall. In fact, the top story, I'm debating whether it would be a good idea to use stone or maybe use something else, maybe a bit of oak wood or something like that, although I think that might be a bit weird. And ignore this house yet again, because I'm sure I'm probably going to get someone who's confused why I'm doing things differently. This house is not going to be here. This is just here because I'm not tearing it down yet. So, there we go. That's an alright height, I think. So, what I want to do here is I'll probably put on a little bit of a roof here. And at that level there, I'm going to go up a second story. I just want to make sure. Let me quickly grab one thing out, because keeping scale in the world is really important, of course. We found out very soon that putting in that tree that I mentioned in the last episode messed that mountain around, so doing this might very well mess us around as well. So that should be a hit. Wonderful. Stuck in the block. Okay, perfect. So I'm just going to test out heights here, and I'll probably go up with these, because these will be more or less what we're going to go up with. There we go, maybe there. And let's check. Does this look ridiculously big that we have to... No, I reckon that can work. I reckon that can work. Definitely alright, because it's got that distance, it's got the big tree over here and the small trees over there. I think it's going to look very, very good. So, my next step will be, of course, with this build, just planning out the rest of the framework on here. Getting in a little bit of maybe the walls and the roof. We'll see. We'll see. But I want to get this one looking really, really good this episode. And a little bit of an update. So, we've got a lot of stuff happening here. It might look very, very confusing, but give me a second and you will know what's going on. So I've just gone ahead, I've messed around with a few parts of this build. I've got in this piece over here, which I'm picturing because of course I do want this in the end to be a bar, tavern type thing in the village. And I'm thinking that we could have a really cool bunch of windows over here, just letting in a bit of light and have a roof up the top there. I think that'll just break this room up a little bit more and it'll look pretty cool. So over here is another thing that I decided would be an interesting thing to add, which is a little bit of an area for more light to come in, another window spot, which we could just have a little bit of a, if you go out here, a little bit of a roof over there, and I've kind of curved it. If you have a look there, there's it's even more confusing. Never mind. I thought that could help. Okay, there we go. It's just kind of curved like that, and I think that could be really cool to add in a little bit of light as well, with a little bit of a change in the way the building looks. Right, that'll work. Perfect, perfect. Wonderful. So, my next stage now is to add in a bit of the roof. And, can I do that? No. This will work, though. Okay. Got it. It's so good having unlimited ender pearls. What can I say? Man, I've got to set up a proper food farm. That is something we really have to do, because I've got the chicken farm, but it's unloaded right now. I need to put that either in the spawn chunks or actually just create something that works. Wonderful. So what I'm trying to do with this roof is I'm trying to pull it up to here, and I want to maybe pull this. I'll show you my idea. Let me just try this out. So I want to pull this out to here, more or less, maybe up to this level, and then I actually want to have a little bit of a gap for a window to come up here, there, and then go out here again. So, something like that. And that way, might have to put this up a bit higher. But that way, what's going to happen is we're going to have a roof built into the roof, like here. There. So, let's try this out. I'll do that for now. There, and in fact, I'll probably end up putting one like that. So, that there. And then this roof will be built into the next part. So, really? This roof will be built into this roof over here. So let's just try this out. There. Then, by the way, I've got no clue. I've got absolutely no clue whether this will work. But as I say, you know, you got to just try these things out. You never know until you try it. So there and there. Wonderful. And chances are we're probably going to change it a lot from whatever I start with here. So something like that there. Maybe something up here. And In fact, I want to do this on this level here, and that one as well, a bit higher. There. Wonderful. Will that work? Let's take a step back and check what's going on. Yeah, that'll work. It creates a little bit of interest. I know it's very dark. And I know I'm going to get a lot of comments telling me that it's very, very dark, of course, but it's alright. It's alright. We will figure this out. We will get these things going. I want it to be a very dark place. As I said in the last clip, you know, you gotta experiment with these things and get the town looking a bit more dark and gloomy, and I think the way to do it is make it dark and gloomy. Yeah, that's definitely gonna work very, very well. Then, of course, this roof over here is gonna be a bit different. Normally, I make my life easier and plan out the way the roofs are gonna be a little bit before I build it, but right now, I'm trying things out. You know, I'm testing out new building styles. I'm happy to mess around with the roof, wrestle with the roof till it gets working. I think this is the way it's gonna work. So, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna put in this bottom layer roof. The top one's not gonna be too crazy. In fact, I might even just do that one as well. Got to chop down a few more trees. And then we can go ahead and start with a bit more of the finer details. I want to get started with those things. Okay, so let's talk about the first nightmare roof of this world. This one here. Remember how I said I'm happy to wrestle with the roof? I've been wrestling with this thing. You know what? It hasn't actually been too bad, but I'm loving the way it's coming out. And it's taken me a lot longer than I had hoped, but it's definitely doing really, really good. So I thought I'd give you a little bit of an update, really. I just did that. Okay. Let's go again. I'll give you a little bit of an update. So this is what it's coming out like. It's a very... Was there a zombie or something there that I just didn't see? Interesting. Well, there's one there. Can I just talk about my roof, please? I just want to talk about... What does a guy have to do around here to speak about a roof? Alright, so back to the roof. What I've decided to do is stick with those. I've moved them around a little bit, playing around, and I like them. I like them. Tell me what you think about them. I think they're going to bring a lot of character into the roofs of this village. Well, this village. I've also made a little bit of a flaw or a mistake with this, that I had to move this one out one more block here. So I recounted. I realized what I needed to do, and that's going to work, which meant I had to move this a little bit and get these here. And I think it's turning out very, very well. Look at that. Turning out very, very cool. I just stepped down here because I thought I'd give you an update on just how it works. And by the way, if you guys want any indication of how long it's taken me to get this far, because people always ask me, like, how do you build better? How do you build something that looks that good? It's really because I take a lot of time. Anyone who's been to my streams would vouch for me. I take a very long time to do anything in terms of finishing off the finer details, specifically a roof. And the roof it's the crown, you know, it's crowning this build, and this is why I've taken a lot of time, and it's really, this one's going to set the tone for the rest of the village. So when I get onto the next roof, it'll be a lot quicker, because I'll know the pattern I'm using, I'll know how I'm, like, the formula I'm getting these roofs done with, and I think that'll work really well. So I'm doing only that piece over there on this side, and the other side there. On this side here, we're not going to use one of these. Maybe we will if it doesn't work too well, but I don't want to use one on every single side. And what I've thought about just when I stepped down there before I started recording this clip is I saw this piece here, and I was actually going to be putting this roof fairly flat, and I looked at it and I'm like, you know what, this could actually look really cool if I get to angle this up a little bit more. So if I get to pull this one up to the middle here, and you can kind of just see a little bit of a point, that would be very, very cool. So I thought, you know, let's give this a try. Let's try this out, because of course you got to think about why this roof is pitched as rough as it would be, as steep as it would be. And that would be because we are in a snowy biome. You know, we're in a village that gets snow. And in fact, I can't wait for the next snowy weather. It actually looked really cool when I was doing the time-lapse. Pity it was in a time-lapse. Also, I've got to repair those very soon. And I'm just going to risk it and not repair them in any haste. But I'm going to regret that. Let me tell you this. I will definitely regret that. So here we go. Let's try it on the front here. I've been playing around with ideas and stuff like that. But yeah, indication of time taken, more than an hour. Definitely more than an hour. But yeah, let's do that there. One up there, maybe. There. And here. And this is the way I would normally do it here. Just playing around with the shape. Shapes are important. The shape is more important than, as I say, the overall technical thing that I was trying to do. You know, make a roof look like X or whatever. Just do this so that I don't ever... So that I kind of understand what I'm doing. Right, so here, there, destroy that, and Maybe I'll do another one of these. And then start pulling out to full blocks. There you go. I don't know. I think that could work. We'll step from the bottom, because the thing is, you got to really think about these builds from the bottom where you're going to be seeing them. And really, something that looks good up here might not look too good. And that happens when you start walking backwards and you see that this piece of the roof is covering it up or something like that. And the same goes for the other way around. Although I don't like that piece there. So I think what we can do, though, is we can do this and this. That could work. Okay, cool. And wonderful. So, take a step back again. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Look at that. That's going to be a very, very cool roof, I think. I think it's going to be really, really cool. And this might just be taking it a little bit too far. And what's the point of doing something if you're not going to do it to an absolutely stupid level? I'm going to try something which might end up also being a big change in the way this village looks. I had 100 of these. Really? I don't have any dark oak fence. Do I actually not have any dark oak fence? That's alright. We'll do this here. Let's do that. And perfect amount of sticks for a single dark oak fence. Wonderful. So let's just go up one more level and see what happens when we put on a little bit of a crown. Oh, well, not a crown. A little pointy bit to it. Can I get that? Are my ender pearl skills up to scratch? Oh, so close. I've done some pretty crazy ender pearls recently. And I never recalled myself doing them, but man, I could MLG ender pearl these things. Ah, man. You wouldn't say it now, would you? Wouldn't say it now. All right, so I'm gonna pillar up. Let's just do this the smart way, and not fall off that side. There and there. Wonderful. I'm beginning to think it might be too much. Maybe. Really? I don't know. Tell me what you think. I think that can work. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave it, and it can get taken down. But for now, I think it'll be all right. So that seems like I've got this roof down in the bag right now. We're gonna get this finished off here. I'm actually going to pull these off one more to each direction there. So it's going to be very, very big, in fact. Have a look at this. It's a fairly wide piece in the middle here. Very, very wide. Very complicated. But it's gonna take a little bit of time to get that completed. Then the insides, I don't think will be too crazy. I think the inside will be quite an easy build. And I think we have it. Look at that. That is looking pretty good, I think. A nice little shape. And this is actually, I was very concerned about this piece here being offset to the side. It's actually pushed in a little bit in that direction there and this direction here, if you have a look at it. But it works very, very well. I think I might be better off walking a little bit closer to it so you can kind of get the feel of, as we walk up here, look at that. Look at that. That's going to work fantastically. Now, let's go ahead and start off with a few little planning things before I get into adding in all the details. First of all, these walls have to be here. We've got a spot back there, so I have to do something with that. Of course, I have to put blocks in there. Now, this piece here at the front, which has changed a little bit from when we started, I'm thinking I want to keep this wall over here a wooden wall, and these walls over here stone walls. I like the stone. I don't want too much of the spruce wood being played in this village. Like only on little small things like those accents there and the wall over there. In fact, that one's almost a little bit too much for me. We might even try out a bit of dark oak on that wall one day, but not right now. Not right now. I'm not going to be doing that. So let's get a few of those there, and we'll place these in here like that, there. Wonderful. And again here. And the whole point of this wall is going to be where we have a big window, getting a lot of natural light in here and not having to rely on torches inside during the day, of course, to make it look bright. Of course, we'll still get the mob spawns. I understand that, but ooh, you know what? You know what? I've just got a good idea. Might not be a good idea, but I think it is a good idea. Is instead of doing this, and I understand it kind of gets rid of the purpose of this originally. But it might turn out quite well, is instead of doing what I was about to do there, where I could put in one of these, like this was what I was about to do, just put these in, but I'm going to have this really ugly square over here. So what I'm going to try is instead go back to my furnaces, which are working away really, really tough. You know what? I just realized I haven't put a furnace in our blacksmith. We haven't got a furnace like this, a Minecraft furnace, inside there. That's kind of weird. So do that. Oh, we need a bit of that. There, and now we should be alright. So this is something I've been playing around with because the issue with the normal glass panes is when you put them next to a stair, they don't fit. Either way, they just don't connect, and it doesn't work very well for me. I don't like the look of it. What that's telling me is we have to, yeah, come down a little bit, but I'll get that now. So I don't like the look of it next to stairs. Of course, that doesn't work. And another thing is, if you're building a bit larger, like what I'm trying to do right now, a little bit larger than what I'm comfortable with, you can start to add in little pieces in the walls. So now walls aren't a single layer. It's not a single block layer like this. It doesn't have to be like this. In fact, if you're a little bit larger, you can put in a bit more over there. So that's what I'm thinking. That's why I'm going to go give this a try. We'll do these over here. We could even do another block in here just for the hell of it, you know? We could even just put a random block in there just to make it look colorful. So that should be alright. Give those back. Wonderful. And here. Okay, cool. Now this is where we go back to this. Oh, no, no. There. And pull up here as well. So that means we can actually get these blocks to work. And normally I'd recommend using slabs, but of course, I mean, not slabs. I guess they are kind of the slabs of the glass world, but glass panes. There we go. And there we go. So that is going to work out very, very well, I think. Get rid of that. And yeah, I reckon that can play off very, very well. So I'll get this whole wall covered in that. That is fine. That's not a problem. Then the next thing we're going to have to do is fill in those gaps there, of course, and texture the walls, which is why I actually had my texturing blocks, which I told you guys about last time. And I think this is one of the most important things if you're using stone. Learn how to do this and your builds will just, they will come out looking amazing. When you get this right, So I'm going to go ahead. I actually need some cracked stone. I don't know why I didn't bring any of that. I'm also going to plan out a few more windows in here. I'm guessing probably a small set of windows like that on these things. Because we've got the large windows and we're going to have the windows upstairs. And I still want this dark look in the bar. I want this to look a little bit darker, of course. So there. Is that too big? No, I think that'll work. Let's just double check from the inside. Maybe we want it a bit higher. Nah, I think that's actually going to help us. In fact, you know what I could even do? And this is just me thinking. Is as we come in here, let's just put this out. This is just things that are popping in my brain right now. Is if we instead got this to walk down a little bit like that. So you walk in on this level and immediately have to step down some stairs and come into here. That is a brilliant idea. Let me tell you this, guys. This is actually a brilliant idea. We're actually going to run out of space underground in saying that because I can actually hear the lava when I'm standing right next to that wall. I can hear the lava from the thing we built yesterday, the furnace, and I think that could be a bit of trouble if we go too low with our wood. So I'm gonna have to mark out where that thing is because it comes a lot further this way than what you'd expect. But that's not a problem. It's not yet a problem, at least, and I'm sure I won't be as enthusiastic about it when I do mess that up. But that's all right. And this should be actually empty. Yes, wonderful, wonderful. So yeah, that's the plan. I'm gonna actually do this here. I'll leave this as it is right now because I'm doing a lot of other stuff. But before we go and build the inside, I'm gonna have to take that floor down and just picture it. Stairs going down there, a bit of a bar area here. You can see up there. I like the idea of a very high, tall window, and that's gonna work fantastically. And then besides that, we can even add in a cellar at some point in there, and I think that could really do a very, very good trick. There we go. Let's do that there, and get rid of that, and that maybe? No? There. Yeah. Perfect. Right, so I'm going to go ahead. I'll do this stuff. As I say, the texturing is important. I'm going to get that done. And then we can go ahead and do some more stuff to add into the finer details here. Alrighty, guys. We are back inside of this place. And this is what it's looking like right now. I've got to actually finish off the top pieces there and this piece here. But overall, this is how it's turned out. I think it's coming along very, very well. And I think the decision to put this lower is actually a very good one at that as well. So there we go. That was perfect. Finished off on the perfect number of those things. Now, what I've decided to do was keep it very cramped in here, which is maybe a decision that I might not like a bit later. But right now, I think it's pretty cool. Is if you walk in here, imagine you kind of have to step around things, get down there. In fact, we need another one of those there. But I think that'll work very, very well the way it is currently laid out. I just need... In fact, what do I need? No. I need it the other way. This way. One of those. Perfect. Alright, so I think that's going to work very, very well. Now, the rest of this build of course, is all about some of the finer details, the very, very fine ones. Not necessarily the ones to do with the structure, but the ones inside here. For instance, tables, chairs, chandeliers, or whatever we're going to be using for light. A few arches, those sorts of things. They're going to be very, very important to put into this build. And I think we're not going to do them in this episode because we've got not too much time left. In fact, I've taken quite a bit of time showing you guys this build. And I hope you guys have enjoyed that because a lot of the comments always suggest that you people want to see a lot more of how I get to the build. And I think that's a useful thing to do every now and then, you know, to just show you how I think at least while doing what I do. So let's go up here. And we'll eventually get to the inside. In fact, the inside I'll do for the next episode. Not the whole next episode, but I'll get it done in the next episode. There we go. There we go. All right. Actually, can I get rid of that? Guess I could, but yeah, let's leave it. Let's leave it. Not that. There we go. This here. Another question, by the way, I saw it a few times recently, and it's to do with the fact that we are putting in a mob switch into the world, and a lot of people don't seem to know what a mob switch is, and I've tried explaining it, but I can always give it another go again, by the way. And what it is, basically, let's describe what's going to happen when I put this thing in the world. It is something you can build in Minecraft. It's a thing that basically stops mobs from spawning, the bad ones. And the way it works is that if I get a mob, for instance, a shulker, which can't despawn, and I put it into an area that is always loaded, the game will look at that mob and it will say, okay, add that one into the total number of mobs that we have. So that's the way it'll work. So it'll add it onto that total, and we know that it can't attack us, so it's gonna add on the total. Now, what is really important is that there is a upper limit of that. So there's a certain amount of mobs that Minecraft will say, okay, we've got enough, I'm going to stop spawning mobs into the world. And that is around about 70 for each player. So about 70 mobs. So if we can get 70 shulkers to be in a chunk that is always loaded in this world, that would mean that Minecraft would say, listen, we've got enough, more than enough, stop spawning them in, because right now we're going to have a problem. If we keep, imagine if Minecraft kept spawning in mobs, which sometimes it feels like it just does. That would be a very, very long, very, very tough thing, because I mean, a lot of your worlds would get well overrun with mobs, and that's basically just playing around with the technicalities of the game. So I think, yep, good. We can. Actually, I feel like I bounced in that bed. Did I not just bounce in that bed? I think I did. Okay, so now we can get into the outside of this, and I'm guessing I'll probably just end up using spruce. I've got more than enough spruce. So there and there. Wonderful. What else do I need? I need those, and I think that's about it. So the outside's kind of looking a little bit bland at the moment. I want to do something else with a few lights and stuff when we get to it. Maybe something like that. We'll play around with them. But I really do think adding in these small frames on the side, I was going to say they would help, but you know what? They won't. They won't. It's not part of our color scheme here. So hopefully we can get that update that everybody wants for some, well, block wood-specific trapdoors. Let's put it like that. All right, so I guess I'm just going to go ahead and try this out now, putting in a bit of oak leaves and a bit of spruce, just to top this off, to take away from the fact that this area is relatively plain. I also might add in a bit of the, let me just get rid of that. I also might add in a bit of the spruce fence or something like that in the corners, but that looks all right. This needs to go. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. Something like that. That'll actually be quite nice. In fact, once we've got a few other things around here, I think this might not even need a lot more than what we have right now. Yeah, that's going to look really, really good. So besides that, I also want to quickly add in one last thing to this. And, oh, okay, I'm stuck in that. A bit of this, a bit of snow. And I've got just a bunch of junk chests that are completely unorganized, but I just do it to make my life a bit easier. So we'll do that there. 1, 2, and 3. Fantastic. Right, so this is where I'm going to be adding in a bit of snow, just to finish this off for what it is. And, oh man, we actually can't add any snow to many spots here, but for instance there, we should be able to, a bit there. This might not be a bad thing that we can't add too much snow. Yeah, because it means that it limits us to what we can do with this. There we go. Wonderful. and a bit there. Yeah. In fact, you can see I've messed around with that. I decided I wouldn't put glass in, and I'll give it a try with just having an open air thing. And I kind of like it. Alright, that's a bit too much. Let's both be honest here. Like, there's a bit too much of... a bit too much snow over here. We'll get rid of that. Okay, there we go. We've got more spots than I expected. Wonderful. And we'll also still get a bit more of that will generate in here once we get a bit of a storm. And I'm really looking forward to that first snowstorm again that we can have. So it'll be a really useful thing to have. Just make this area a bit more immersive, I guess. So how's that looking? That's looking pretty good. I actually like that. I like the white on there. It looks a little bit nicer than just the plain thing that I've become very, very used to. I'm actually enjoying building in the snow biome, by the way. I know a lot of people don't enjoy building in snow biomes, but I feel like what we do in here is really appropriate to what it is, and I'm loving the feel that this village is starting to get. I'm loving the fact that everything, these flames are going, the builds are coming out like this, and it's just a very different way of building for me, and I'm absolutely loving it. I'm absolutely loving it, guys. I think what I'm going to do is, next episode, as I say, I'll get into that. So if you guys have got any ideas for the inside, of course, I do my episodes on the day. So if you guys do have anything you want me to put in here, leave it down in the comment section. I would love to hear some of your ideas if I haven't thought about them. Every time I build something, someone says something, and I'm like, man, I should have done that. How did I not think of that? So if you have that idea, let me know about it. But for today, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this episode. I've enjoyed making it very, very much, and I hope you guys have enjoyed the switching up of formats. But that'll be all for today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.